Welcome to the Bonus XP podcast where every fortnight, three friends gather around the internet campfire and each bring forth a news item or gaming topic that we deem worthy for discussion. I'm your host, Luke Morgan. Joining me as always are my bearded boys, Conan
Hello.
and Griner.
Greetings.
This week we'll be going into the very long Game Awards that happened yesterday. Before we get into that, we'll start by asking the most important question you can ask a gamer, and that is, boys, what have we been playing this week?
We've
Griner.
all been playing Halo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Halo Night.
I've
Yeah,
played some other things, but yeah, Halo.
of course, Griner. What is your list of games you've completed this fortnight?
I honestly had less time for games this week than I've had in a long time. But
Oh,
one game I've been playing is called, I'm just trying to remember what the exact name of it. It's called
was it the
S-
indie game of the year?
Super Auto Pets. It's a mobile phone game, but it's I'm really enjoying it. So, have you guys ever played any of the auto battler genre?
No.
So
No.
this is a genre that was invented as a Dota 2 custom game like 2 or 3 years ago, and they all got really big all out of nowhere. So that was called Auto Chess, the one that was made in the
Mm.
Dota engine, and then Riot released a version called Team Fight Tactics. I don't know if you've seen that game around anywhere.
Yeah, I've heard of that
Um,
one.
uh, Basically, you're drafting characters out of a pool, and then they fight each other. You don't actually control the fights, and it all comes down to the characters you've picked and the positioning that you've positioned them in on the board. Um, Essentially, I like to think it's emulating a card game. You're basically picking your hand of cards, and then the game plays the cards for you. And it's in a draft style, which is very popular amongst card games. And so this is just a mobile version of that type of game. They simplify a lot of things in it. So um, you're not putting things out on a chessboard. You've just got a line of characters that you line up. They all have abilities and attacks, and whichever team fights and wins at the end, you either get points or you lose points. And if you get 10 losses or 10 wins, you win or lose.
I feel like I have played a game like that, but I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. But it sounds as you describing that sounds very familiar to me or something.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, there's a lot of auto battlers. Like a lot of the gacha games are auto battlers, Raid Shadow Legends. Like you can set
Yeah.
things to auto battle in that, but you can also choose to use abilities and target other opponents. In this game, everything happens automatically. You line your pets up in a row, so you might have chickens and spiders and ants, and they all have different attack and defense values, and they have abilities. So, like when one dies, it might power up the creatures behind it, or if you feed one food, it might get an extra bonus every round. Anyway, eh, all that to say, it's in the auto battler genre. It's pretty simple. It's simplified a lot compared to like Teamfight Tactics, Dota Underlords, Auto Chess. Like it's a lot simpler than those games. But I've had a lot of fun with it, and like this has been a mobile phone gaming week because I've had a lot of extra work to do. But it's something I can just have on my phone and play it casually, and I've been really enjoying it.
Right on.
Hey,
Sounds fun.
the closest thing I can relate that to is back in the days playing SmackDown versus Raw. There was a GM mode where you were the general manager and you would create the shows and then like see the results of the matches
Oh yeah.
play out, and like you had to put on the most exciting shows. And they had ratings like viewership, so you're competing against the other wrestling show, either Raw or SmackDown, and they would do their thing. It just
Mm.
reminded me of that, the whole auto battles thing, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess there is some of that in it. Yeah, like because there's like Football Manager and stuff like that as well, where there's auto battles.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I guess you're managing the team of pets that fights the other guy's team of pets. Um, but yeah, I think it's a fun little mobile game. It's very well done. There's no ads in it or anything like that. You can pay a once-off fee, and you get like a bigger pool of pets, but you only play against other people who have paid the fee. So it's very well
okay,
done. Like it's very fair that way, which I appreciate as well.
Yeah.
yeah, true. Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
What
Do you
else
want me to
have you
talk
been
about
playing?
Halo Infinite campaign, or do you want to talk about that after we talk about multiplayer?
I don't want spoilers,
No,
but I would like impressions,
I'm
and yeah,
literally like 5 hours in. I don't think anything I could say would like super spoil it anyway. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. So it it definitely opens up as a very traditional Halo game. You're fighting in corridors. It took longer than I expected to get to the open world. But
Yep.
once you get there, it's very much an open world game. Like you're running around, capturing control points. Essentially, they're called forward operating bases, and that gives you a place where you can fast travel to, and it pings all the things on the map in the radius. So it shows you, oh, there's a high value target over here that you can fight, or there's some marines over here that need rescuing, or there's an enemy base over here that you can take out. Um,
Mm.
and it feels very very open world, but it works surprisingly well. Yeah, there's some things about it that frustrate me a bit, but
Is
it's a lot of fun to like drive around in a warthog with a couple marines in the back, just slaying covenant, slaying what are they called? Um,
there's
banished,
Brutes?
the
the
banished. Yep.
banished. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. It just brings back huge vibes of the second mission in the original Halo Combat Evolved, where it's a
Mm.
really big, wide open area, and you're running around in a warthog with some marines. And man, I wish they were other players. Like I wish that was you two guys in the warthog with me.
It sounds like it would be the perfect thing
Yeah,
for co-op.
so would be.
I think it will be really well suited to co-op when that finally comes out. But I'm having fun with it on my own. Um, yeah, have you guys got any questions I might be able to
So,
answer?
does it, because obviously this is the first, like, open world Halo.
Yeah.
Does it does it feel like it has, like, a linear narrative that's pushing you to a certain thing with, like, optional objectives, or is it very just open and, like, you go
No.
do some stuff or
Like it is very open. I have been a little bit annoyed. Like I'll get to, I'll like discover an outpost that I can take. Like I can take away from the banished, and Cortana, whatever she is. She's not Cortana. She's Cortana 2, the sequel or something like that.
the weapon
Let me
or
just
whatever?
Let
say, the Halo story. I don't want to say it sucks, but it's so convoluted. And apparently,
yeah.
this doesn't even follow on from where Halo 5 finished, which is what I assumed it would. I hadn't played Halo 5, but there's so much going on this story that I don't know, I don't understand. I even watched like a refresher to try and understand where the story is up to, and I'm still very, very confused about what's going on. All I know is I'm Master Chief, and I'm out here kicking some banished ass, and that's kind of fun. But
Yep.
it does feel like a very much an open world. You go out and yeah, like you'll just come across stuff happening. Like there might be a bunch of brutes on the road who've set up a roadblock, and you got to fight your way through it. Or um,
So,
yeah,
is that what you want in Halo? Like, are you liking that? Because
yeah, I wasn't sure.
I've got open world fatigue, and I'm like,
Mm.
I don't want more open worlds at the moment, and
Yeah, I
but
I I, I feel yeah, I understand that. I suppose I haven't played an open world game in a while, so I'm not feeling that fatigue personally. Um, I could definitely see myself, running around ticking off all these checkboxes for a little while, and then just saying, "All
yeah,
right, I'm over it. I'm just going to go do the story missions."
yep,
And that's
Mm.
okay. I think like I often play open world games like that. Like I'll run around collecting
yeah,
everything, getting all the power ups, and then at a certain point, it's like I have everything I need to finish this game. I'm just going to go do it now. I'm just going to power through the story missions. I
yep,
have done a couple of story missions. They seem fine. They're not obviously they're not on the same linear level as a traditional Halo level.
yeah,
Um, but they definitely like they'll put you into a space, and this is the level now that I'm playing. Um,
yeah,
yeah, but it's a true open world. I think it works it works surprisingly well, and I think it works well because the vehicles in Halo have always been really really good. They've always felt really really good. Um, yeah, and the fact that like there's marines all around the place you can rescue and stick them in a warthog with you and run around with you, like it works well that way.
I have to think that the open world aspect is what's holding back the co-op.
Yeah, so I think they've struggled with this open world quite a bit. Um, so the game crashes for me a little bit on my PC, like probably 2 or 3 times in 5 hours it's crashed. And so like
Mm,
I was in the middle of taking a base that was part of a story mission, and the game crashed when I was near the end. And when I came back into the game, I was spawned basically where you start that mission. So like I was out
ugh.
way outside of the base approaching it, but all the things I had done were done. So that I had unlocked this gate and turned on this gravity lift, and all those things were done.
Oh, okay.
So I could just run back in and go straight to where I was. But all the
It just
enemies
took
had
you way back.
yeah, all the enemies had respawned. It, that was a little frustrating. And then even worse, I did the same thing again. It wasn't a story mission. It was just a base that I took over, and the reward at the end was a scorpion tank. Like this is a base where the Covenant were repairing vehicles and stuff like that. And you could see there's this scorpion tank behind this wall. And I eventually unlocked everything so that I could get in this scorpion tank, and I had to go. I come back, everything's unlocked. There's no scorpion tank. And I was like, I just wanted to drive around in the scorpion tank, and now it's gone.
Oh,
And it just
Uh,
and there's been a few times like that where I'm like, oh, I want to get like I was running around in a ghost, killing dudes, fun. I rescued a bunch of Marines. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna go get a warthog and come back and pick these guys up. I drive back to the last place I saw a warthog. There's no warthog there anymore,
right.
and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's really frustrating because that's like this is like why isn't this world tracking what's going on better? Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think if you add co-op into that, I think it would get very messy very
It's
fast. So I think
a
they've got some
mess.
improvements they need to make there. But in terms of like, yeah, the vehicles work really well. I think the grappling hook is unlimited. Like it's not like in single player where you've got 5 charges and it runs out. You can use it over and over again. It has a cooldown, but you can. There's a tech tree, so you put in points and you unlock like a faster recharge on it. Oh, now when you shoot a guy with it, it stuns them and stuff like that. So um,
Yep.
once you get that upgraded a little bit, you can be zipping around the world pretty fast and up and down buildings. And it's fun to explore these maps in that way. Like I'm really enjoying that part of it.
Yeah. I'm I'm really interested to play it. Like I've been like last night I sat down, I was like, I really want to play Halo Infinite. And I had the moment of realization, I was like, the last Halo I beat was Halo 1. And I was like,
Jeez.
I don't know the story. I don't know what's going on. And so I did what you did, and watched like a recap video. I found like a long one, like a long detailed one
Mm.
that covered every Halo game. So it was like an hour and a half long. So I spent my night last night watching all of that and catching up on the whole history of Halo. Um, I'm hyped for Halo Infinite now. I'm probably going to start the campaign when we finish recording this podcast tonight. Um, but yeah, it made me realize I was like, man, like that original, especially that original trilogy by Bungie. It's like it seems like a really fascinating story in it. Like I didn't. I remember playing Halo when I was 10 years old or so, and just playing the levels and not really knowing what was going on. So even the recap of Halo 1, I was like, "Oh, damn, that's what was going on. That's crazy." Like I didn't realize that. Um so I'm intrigued to get into it. Like you guys know, I've gotten hooked on the multiplayer aspect of Halo
It's
since the
so
free to
good.
play
Yeah,
version
it's good.
launched. It's all I'm playing. I'm not a multiplayer guy at all.
Mm.
I don't get into multiplayer games. I don't like any of that sort of stuff. I'm a campaign, cinematic story guy.
Except Fall
Never
Guys.
had any Halo LAN parties or anything like that. But this game, I'm hooked. Every night I'm just like, I want to play some games of Halo. I'm going to play some games of Halo, leveling up, and just having a ball. Like it just feels so good to play. We had a Halo night this week. It was great fun. Like I had a ball.
Yep.
Um, it's good fun. And like, yeah, I I love it. I love it. I can't wait to get into the campaign. I'm hoping it's um good because it'd be very interesting if I'm hooked on the multiplayer and can't get into the campaign. It'd be a first for me ever, basically. But
I mean,
yeah,
all the
Conan.
things that feel good in the multiplayer feel good in the single player too. I feel like.
Yeah, and I'll get to use the grapple hook more than what I
Yeah.
do in
Yeah.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
I've used that like twice, I think. But Conan, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, so that's all I've been playing as well. Um, I'm into it. Like, yeah, I'm not a multiplayer guy either. Halo has always been the exception. Like, I played a bit of Reach online. I played 4 online. Played the Master Chief Collection online. Then I played 5. Like, I tried playing Five's campaign and I couldn't do it. I got halfway through and I gave up. I thought it just wasn't. I don't know. It just wasn't a great game. It had a lot of problems. It was quite boring. The story was rubbish.
Hmm.
But the multiplayer of this has been really fun. Like it's getting a lot of praise. And it seems like they have really they've done the right thing. They took the time with it. They've pushed the game back to the very last minute,
Mm.
and they've now released a half finished game. But the multiplayer works, and it works really well. It feels like old Halo in a lot of ways. And yeah, like the Halo night we had was super fun, and I'm playing it a bit on and off, and I still get frustrated at it like I did, but the
Yep.
wins are really satisfying. Like it feels really cool. And so I'm excited for the campaign because for Halo was kind of like that annual game that I played. I steered clear of 5 for a while just because I heard bad things, and then when I finally touched it, I was disappointed. So I'm keen to have a good Halo campaign again. The open world thing, yeah, I'm skeptical about because I too have open
Mm.
world fatigue. Um, in a way, I kind of like my shooters being like, here's a mission, just do that. But to your point, Greta, before, like sort of the memorable bits of Halo have often been the big open parts where you're exploring the ring, and it's like here's a massive area of that, and you
Yep.
Yep.
kind of have to navigate it to some extent. So I feel like it could be a very natural progression if it's done properly. So I'm keen
Just
to give it a try soon.
man, I wish there was co-op though. Like,
Yeah, it's
I'd be
it's
so on
nice.
board. Like tomorrow, just the three of us like cruise through the campaign. But
It's
Yeah,
it just feels so built for co-op. Like
yeah,
running around with your friends and saying, "Oh, let's take over this base." Like, "Oh, I saw this cool thing happening over here." Like, just sounds so much fun. Like the whole time I'm playing, I'm like, "Oh, I mean, these Marines are cool. I'm glad they're in the thing with me, but man, I wish this was my friends. Like, this would be so much more fun."
yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that they've. It's just a shame that the industry does that now. They release them. They could sort of release it in this. It's good we've got a taste, but I kind of wish they could have just released it all as one and be like, here, it all is working. I would have much preferred to wait a couple of years and get that. But what
couple
do you know?
Yeah.
years, man.
Like legit, like I wasn't scratching at the walls being like, I need Halo now.
But people were, man. Like this,
They were.
this was a launch Xbox Series X like
Yeah.
game
I
Yeah.
know.
last November.
I totally get why they did it. They had to release something. That's what I was
Yeah,
saying. They did the wise thing by releasing the multiplayer. And like,
yeah,
this is what people are coming to it for. I just mean, personally, I wouldn't have minded if they pushed it back a while and they released it as a complete game.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how quickly the goodwill would start to run out, though. Like you can definitely point at. I mean, I've brought it up time and time again, but Cyberpunk 2077 and the disaster
mm,
the launch of that game was. Like, it's very easy to say we don't want to do that. That's why we're delaying this game. But at some point, you know,
yeah,
What are you
I mean, this
doing?
game was supposed to launch 12 months ago. Could you imagine the
yeah,
state this game was in then?
no, yeah, no,
Like,
No, and that was after a long development cycle. Like, and this goes into the sort of the problem. I think you know, Xbox has this thing, and it's like people, applaud it, and it's lovely that they're like any person like with an Xbox can play it. Like if you have the big old brick Xbox One that came out in 2013, Halo Infinite, you can play on that.
it's pretty exciting that I can play
You
it on my
know,
old gen
and
stuff.
I think the fact that you've got to like developers really have to limit themselves to that. It's a wide range. It's what happened with Cyberpunk. If Cyberpunk was just PC and next gen consoles, there wouldn't have been an issue. Like there really wouldn't
I
have.
think there still
the
would have been
game
some
was
issues.
still very broken on high end PC. And
Oh,
it
but
fundamentally
not.
lacked gameplay elements. It wasn't broken in terms of like unplayable like it was, but
But if they weren't trying to like work on PS4 and all that at the same time, and trying to meet this middle ground that it's running on PC and on this console, and they could have just focused on that, I think it would come out a much better product.
yeah, but I think there's less work in that than you think there is. I that game still
You just
lacks
delete PS4 copy and
no, but I mean if you make your game playable on PC, you're already aiming at a range of hardware. Like you already
yeah,
can say this is the low end that works on PC, this is the medium end, this is the high end. Consoles are basically PCs now anyway. Like they use the same architecture that's used on PC. It's not like we've got the cell processor to worry about. We don't have to worry about making cartridges for the
mm,
Nintendo. Like they're basically PCs. They can target
yeah,
them the same way. And that game fundamentally was missing gameplay stuff. Like cops still don't make any
yeah,
sense in that
yeah.
game. They still spawn behind you and kill you. It's stupid.
No, I get that, but it's like, yeah, like I guess like yeah, PCs like that. People can have dud PCs, but if your PC's really dud, like you have minimum specs where you're like, well, you can't play this. And I got to imagine a brick Xbox One doesn't have that great of tech to run a brand new next gen game in 2021.
I do wonder how it plays on that because my PC should be better than that, but it runs pretty poorly on my PC in some ways. The game looks
Conan,
good, it just crashes a lot. That's the problem with it, I suppose.
are you playing it on an Xbox One?
Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else? Yeah, I don't have next gen, and my laptop's
You
I'm
have
not
the
going to try
pro.
it on
You
my
have the pro
laptop.
version though, don't you?
But
Or
wait, do you
whatever.
have an Xbox One X or do you
No,
have
it's
an
not.
Xbox One?
I have the in between. I have the it was the Elite console, so it's got a 1 terabyte hybrid drive, but it's still
But
like an old
it's
model.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right.
But
not like
it's
the One S or One X.
no, so it's neither of those, but it is better than the standard one. Either way, it runs fine. I've never had any issues with it.
That's
Like
good.
this thing, the game. Sorry, I had one moment today where it briefly frame rate issue, but I don't know if that was just lag.
I mean, I
But yeah,
100% know where the bottleneck is in my PC, but I'm glad it runs well on old consoles.
like no issues on there, which is very cool.
Mm. I'm playing on the Xbox Series X, which I got pretty much just for Halo because I was really keen for Infinite once it came out, and Forza as well. Xbox is having a really good end of year, like really good year, really compared to what they've had for last 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
Yeah, Sony's having a bad time with their
Oh,
VP's getting
wouldn't.
stung.
That has nothing to do with PlayStation anyway. So, Conan, have you been playing anything else, or is it just Halo?
No, that's it. I haven't had a chance to play Breath of the Wild on the proper controller yet. That you
Ah,
guys so lovingly bought for me.
we
Oh,
got
that's
Conan a
Um,
birthday present. So,
very sweet.
just dox him.
But yeah,
his birthday
but yeah,
was sometime in the last 3 weeks. No,
yeah. No, literally haven't had a chance because I think I had that, and then as soon as I was sort of able to play games, it was like Infinite's on. I was like, well, I'm playing Infinite then.
yeah. Well, I've been playing one other game. So it's actually another game that starts with HA. So Hades.
No,
Oh, have you been playing it?
Hades.
Wow.
no,
Now, legit in the group chat the other day, I sent a photo of Hades on my TV,
it's
and I was like,
that
you know
what?
what?
Yeah.
I unsent the message because like, no, this is gonna be a good surprise for Griner. I'll wait.
I
And
just thought that
so
was I thought that was a dick pic or something.
no, it wasn't. It was actually just a screenshot of where I was up to in Hades. Um, so pretty much my nights the last week or so, it's been all on my Xbox. I feel a bit bad that I've abandoned my PlayStation for the last week.
They haven't
Good
got any
console,
games
right?
out. What are you going to do?
Every night I'm playing my Xbox Series X, playing a bunch of games of Halo. And then to finish off the night, like my last half hour, I'm just like, I'm going to jump into and I'll play a bit of Hades. I'm not far at all. Like legit, when I say I've started playing it, I've put maybe an hour and a half or so into it. So I got up to the first boss battle.
Mhm.
I don't remember the name or so.
Megara.
She owned me pretty bad.
Yeah, she does. She does
She'll
that.
do that. Yep.
Yeah.
And then she'll
So
talk to
I
you
think
about it afterwards. It's awesome.
It's very cool.
so the last time I went up to that thing where you walk up and you see the path and it shows you how many levels you've cleared or whatever. I think that was like 15 or 16 the last time I looked at it or so.
Yep.
Um, I'm enjoying it. Like
Good.
it's I I've avoided it for the longest time because the gameplay just didn't look like it's my type of thing, but it's addictive.
Mm.
Obviously I die, I go back, but it's I don't know, when you go back into that thing, that that music kicks in, like it's you guys know what I'm talking about. It
Yeah.
starts when you start up the run again, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now let's get into it. Oh, like there's a message from another, god or something like that. What boost or power do I get from this?
So
And then
that
yeah,
that game is so good at just giving you something different every run, but giving you something to unlock every run too. Like
Yeah.
that game is phenomenal about just dishing out little upgrades here and there, and so many of them feel really different. It's just so well designed in that way.
I need to get used to picking my weapon at the start of my run and then using that. Like because at the
Yeah.
minute. I got the bow and arrow and I was like, awesome. And then I was like, wait, where's my sword? I was like, where's my the attacks I was doing
Yeah,
previously?
Both so good though.
The bow is really
I feel
good.
like
I've got to find what I'm best at.
every weapon in that game is like 100% usable, 100% fun to you. Like there's none that I disliked.
Really, the gun?
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
the gun is awesome.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
am I
and
just
some
not
of the
using it right?
upgrades for the gun are very fun. Like you can turn it into a
Uh,
shotgun that shoots really, like does so much damage. It is for a long time. It was the weapon they used in speedruns because it was the quickest clearing weapon in the whole
okay.
game. So
Okay, because I tried a couple runs of that and I couldn't do it. I hated it.
yeah,
So I just
it takes a bit to get used to. I'll agree.
yeah. I think when what you'll find, Luke, is that I think the thing that I enjoyed the most about it was two. One thing is like saying with speed, like with runs into it, each time you do it, there ends up being a lot of ways to motivate you to pick like new different abilities where it's like because you get the prophecy, and it's like this has been, if you take
Yep.
this ability, it will foretell another prophecy, and so you want to do all of those. And so I find it so many times I'll be like, okay, I get this other ability that I know, or I can pick this slightly different one because it'll give me an accomplishment for something, and I do that, and that creates a whole different run because you get a different ability for something,
Yep.
which motivates a different style of approach, and it just makes each run like memorable and interesting. And there's almost never a time where you're just repeating it because all the abilities are sporadic and they all really work together no matter how you use them.
Yeah, and they do the thing where they give you the shadow bonus on a different weapon every run too. So I was always picking that different weapon every time.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
never had 2 runs with the same weapon. I never had 2 runs with the same boons. It
Yeah.
Yeah.
not till I'd been playing it a lot did I start repeating things. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
The only thing I seem to be repeating is I pat Cerberus every time I get back
Well,
to the.
He's the best boy.
that's right.
But I don't know. I find all the characters very
They're so
charming. Like
good. They're
and
so
like
good.
the acting's great, and
Yeah.
I like enjoy listening to them. And yeah, I like the vibe of that game. So I'll keep playing it. I don't have any expectation that I'll be great at this game and beat it or anything like that. But like how long are you looking at to beat this game? Like, is it? It obviously depends on difficulty and stuff like that and how you go.
Can
But
you know how long it took you to beat it once?
A while.
Yeah, it's
No, I was just thinking I wish I'd had those stats here to
I'll
see.
I'll see if I can pull up my stats on it. I mean, I beat it. So, yeah, to get like
Well,
true endings, you have to beat it multiple times, and I
yeah,
did
see,
that.
okay.
I haven't got a true ending. I beat the game, but then it gives you the sort of add-on.
Mm,
And I didn't. That was kind of where I ended because final boss is a bitch, and
mm.
yeah, I failed a lot, and I finally got it once. And I was kind of pissy that they were like, "Ah, it's still going." But it also makes total sense in a game where you just never end.
Don't spoil
Like
everything for me.
the characters, the dialogue, the art style, like everything about it is. I see why people say this is like a game of the year and why people adored it so much
Yeah.
because it is everything in it is done like perfectly, right?
Do you want to know my playtime? 2 da
Please.
2 days, 9 hours.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It's 50 something hours. I played,
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
played
It's
all
not
through
it's
the
not
early
bad.
access, so, like, I would dip in, play it. They didn't have all the content in there, dip out, come back later until they
Mm.
released it fully,
And
so
so how many times have you finished it in that time?
um, finished the full game once it was fully released. I think I did 15 or so full clears, full finishes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's 50 hours. That's not too bad at all. Mm,
No,
That's
I mean,
pretty yeah,
you'll
that's
definitely finish it once in probably 10 hours, I would say.
okay, cool.
yeah.
You probably can finish the whole game in, yeah, 10 to 15, I would think, would be
I
normal.
I'm pretty if you're good, I'm pretty crap, so it's taken me a long time. Put on
Oh,
God mode, like
Put
it's
on God mode and it makes it a lot easier. I didn't use it, but it is good.
you
I
know,
didn't have to use God mode.
I was weighing up my shame, and I was like, before I even started, I put God mode. I was like, I just want to cruise through this game, and I'm still getting
There's
owned.
And
there's no shame in it.
But
I put Halo on
yep,
heroic, and I'm like, I'm not having any fun. I'm putting this back down to normal so I can run up and melee dudes. Like, I don't want to have to
yep.
hide behind cover every 5 seconds. And if you're having fun with God mode, go for it.
Well, the thing is, like, I just knew this game was a hard game, and I was just like, I'm not in the mood for that. But yeah, it's more like it's not like it's hard. Like I'm not like it's a Dark Souls thing of like I keep dying. I just find like after 15 levels, I'm like, oh, my health's run now. I'm not sure how to use abilities, so I don't know how to heal myself. I'm not sure if that's something I can do, but I'm just like by the end of 15 rounds, I'm like, oh, my health's getting pretty low. I can't get hit once
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
But yeah, I'll figure it
you
out. It's
definitely unlock stuff to help with that for sure.
yeah.
yeah, but I'm enjoying it. Definitely not game of the year 2020. That's Last of Us Part 2, but I can
So wrong.
understand why people talked about it, but yeah. Anyway, talking about game of the years and the game awards and all that jazz. Yesterday we had our annual The Game Awards hosted by Jeff Keighley. We all pretty much watched most of the thing and yeah,
I watched a
first
lot
of
of
all,
ads.
a lot of marketing, a lot of ads. It's usually bad for it. I feel like universally most people seem to agree that this year was really bad for it.
It's egregious.
Um,
Yeah.
like it was just everything. Everything was an ad, and it was just like it really didn't feel like an awards show. That's the thing. Like it really feels like a trailer show and marketing, and then they'll cruise through like 10 awards in a minute, and he's like, the nominees are, and the winner is such and such. Like he doesn't even read the
They didn't
nominees. It's
even
like,
read the nominees out. Like I don't know. I feel like that's kind of offensive for the nominee. And like I don't
It's
know.
yeah.
pretty crap.
And
It's not.
they didn't even read the nominees on a bunch of the ones on the pre-show. Like they're just like, and best this game. But obviously there's heaps of awards they do, and they read out the nominees for like the big ones. But there wasn't many big ones, it felt like,
There was like
I can only,
3 big ones that they read everything for, wasn't there? Like I feel like it was
yeah,
very
exactly.
minimal.
And it's weird because it felt like the longest, like, Game Awards. I watch it every year. This felt very long compared to other ones, and it comes after what I feel like has been one of the weaker year in games. Like, it wasn't like that finale thing of showing the 5 or 6 contenders. It wasn't like, "Oh my god, all of these incredible things, like, which one, all these big AAA blockbusters," or anything like that. It
Mm,
was like just it was a list of what made it, I feel like, in a
Yeah.
weird way,
yeah, I
but,
agree.
Yeah,
um
but so can I just ask, because you guys know a lot more about this than I, is this in meant like 'cause my impression is that this is essentially meant to be the Oscars of gaming, right? Like that's what
that's
Keeley
what
wants to
it's
That's
do.
what Keeley
supposed to be,
wants
yeah.
to do. Yes.
Like, I think that's a great idea. And I came into, because I've never watched it before. I came into this show being like, cool, because I enjoy watching the Oscars. I realize I'm like
Yep,
the only person in the world who does that, but I think it's important to the medium. And so I
yep.
love the idea of there being the Oscars for games. And I came into this fairly excited. And I was really like
This was
disappointed
not the
with.
year to watch, I'm
No,
sorry.
I was just like, this is not an award show. This is a, but yeah, it's a trailer show with like, I think it's missing the point of what it should be. And oh yeah, part of that is I guess weak year in gaming, so they've got to do something. But
Yeah,
I don't know, they seem like missed potential.
I hope they see the feedback because I have seen a lot of it online of people saying like this was just a long ass ad. Like they were even like cutting off people giving their acceptance speeches. Like they were trying to
Like
get them to hurry and cut them off, cut them short.
like
Mm,
Joseph Faris
Yeah,
won Game of the Year with his small, like, sort of indie game,
yeah,
It Takes Two. Joseph Faris is synonymous with the Game Awards for years ago saying "F the Oscars" and then basically being like, "Oh, quick, that's cut off," you know? And then for him to win the final one, and it felt like he was on stage for like 20 seconds, and he's like, "Oh,
what? Yeah,
they're trying to hurry me up. Oh, thanks, guys. Walk away." Like, it was like, "Oh,
it
that
wa-
was it. Well done. Okay,
it's
it
cool."
was very
disrespectful, isn't
weird.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like these people
it's
work
just
hard, and I think there needs to be an award show for this sort of thing. But this is not it. And
definitely.
I get that they need to pay the bills for this production. Like I get that there's things to happen,
Yes.
but
Yep.
I can't help but wonder, could they be more selective and be like, all right, this block, you can buy this whole block. You're the only people we're going to show during this thing. And Microsoft pays, $1 million to have the last third be their little showcase. And you get to spend more time with the awards. Like, I don't know. I can't help but think there's got to be a better way than this
yeah,
because like there's stories they could tell too. Like they did a few like real short profiles on some things people are doing within gaming, and they were kind of interesting, but they were very very short. And I think there was like 2 of them for the whole show for a three and a
yeah.
half hour show.
Yeah.
I think that's where the value lies, right? It lies in looking into, like, looking behind the curtain and be like,
Hmm.
here's the stuff going on behind it. Here's what they're making. Here are the people who are making it. Here's
Yep.
why they're making it. That's sort of what the celebration should be about. Be like, great, here are the people who get the awards, but here's the industry that we don't see. Because that's why people go to these awards. They look at them because it lends some credibility and it says, hey, there's a craft here. There is actual like there's craftsmanship and art being manufactured. We want to know about that. We want to celebrate that.
Yeah.
And so trailers, like as much fun as it is, and it's like it's a cool part of it because it makes it a bit more interesting. It shouldn't be the main purpose.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like, I get that, like he needs to sell the Game Awards. Like
Mm,
it needs to be profitable. It needs to make money. So he needs to do these deals and everything like that. And I get that. And that's been the argument every year. And I've defended it, before. Like, I've always enjoyed the Game Awards. Like, I used to have days off work where I'd be like, oh, it's the Game Awards. It's Oscar time for me now. Like I watch the Oscars with you, but now you have to watch the Game Awards, and it used to feel more awards focused, and then there'd be a few announcements and stuff like that. They know now, like most of the interest, people watch this for the announcements. Um, and then it very much feels like a trailer show.
Yeah.
But the way the awards are treated are not great. Like what you should do, show a bunch of trailers for upcoming RPG games, then do your award for best RPG for this year or something. Like have it tied to that. Just like have this instead of this random mismatch, hearing about Spotify Wrapped and have Jeff Keighley like
Oh, that was so bad.
awkwardly read
Yeah.
off the top 3 artists.
Lil Nas X. Yeah. Like,
And you can just tell Jeff's it's I don't know.
And they get the celebrities like making the announcement. She's like, and the winner is Genshin Impact. And no, it's
Yep.
Genshin Impact. Like, that's not even the name of the game.
Oh my god. Yeah. Like it used to be really bad. They'd get celebrities who just did not care about games in there, and like it just and like some of the like the stuff like Sima Lu, I believe his name pronounced, the actor from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, the Marvel movie.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's really funny on Twitter. He is a gamer and everything. But man, his whole bit, I'm not sure if you saw it about like watching Halo Infinite on Twitch on his phone while he was doing the award. Did you guys see this?
No, I didn't
I
see
missed
it.
that.
Basically, he walked up to present an award with on like looking at his phone, got up on stage and was like, and the nominees for oh no, don't tell me he just did that with a laser sword.
It's so all the
And
attempt at comedy is
then
so
he would
cringe.
then he it was like really, really bad. And like no one was laughing.
Yeah.
And then he would keep going on about it. He's like, oh sorry, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Master Chief, you did not. And it went for like 2 minutes. And like you're meant to be presenting an award like for this thing, and it came across really bad. And then he's like, "Oh, Halo Infinite came out just yesterday, and I'm here having to present this award instead of playing that." It just is like, now here's the nominees, like, and
Yeah.
it's just like, and then it even came back for him to announce the winner, and he was like, just staring at his phone to make that punchline again, and I'm like, just stop, dude. No one's reacting. Like, it's just, and it takes out the thing of the award, like. Then that people accept the award and like, oh, awesome! Like, yeah, let's go accept our award off him.
Yeah, you've just belittled me this whole time. Thanks, man.
It's like, yeah, a lot of problems with it. If we want to get into it, like they before the show, a couple of days before, they said, they wouldn't be addressing the Activision situation. Everything going on there, they were like, no, we're not going to address that. Basically, ignore what's happening. Twitter reacted. People weren't happy. People were calling out Jeff Keighley. They came out and basically backflipped on that and were like, look, Activision will be there because they're nominated and stuff. But they're not going to be promoted or anything like that, or anything. And then obviously he started the show with this thing. I'm not sure if you saw it, like a little short thing basically being like harassment isn't okay. Here's the support for this. We need to support the people in this industry and like stand up against, this sort of stuff that's going on and like taking like a stance on the Activision thing, which obviously Activision thing's horrible. But then you have a show like filled like what was it? Something Infinite, Twin Infinite. It kept coming up the little Infinite logo. Like that's a thing that's like owned by Tencent, who this like Chinese organization who are doing way worse shit, and that just everyone in the gaming industry can just sort of ignore that all that's going on. They don't want to address any of that. Or all the other companies that are doing bad stuff. Just what this thing is. It's weird to take a stance on one thing and then just be advertised and blatantly. Yeah.
It'd be hard to find a company that you could represent in the gaming industry, though, it feels like at the moment. Like,
Yeah, no, I get it.
scumbags all over.
Yeah.
Even the one where he's like, I remember he's talking about Amazon and he's really like, obviously he's paid for it, and so he's giving big plug. He's like, it's really great what they're doing. They do this exciting stuff. And I'm like, it's not it's not a matter of they've been accused of all these crimes, but it's like it's just not a company that, especially gamers, I feel like are aware that it's a company that's not great, and they're kind of like, we don't it just felt very strange to me of like, you're really like plugging, like, yeah, these guys are super good. They're doing all this great stuff. I'm like, they're
But it's like
not.
it's not like they're even doing great stuff for the gaming industry.
Well,
It's like,
that's what I
what
mean.
is
Like,
Amazon doing?
like it
Like,
felt, it was like they've clearly paid a lot for it, and he's trying to be like, yeah, I've got to sell this. And I guess,
yeah.
like I say, you've got to pay the bills. That's fine, but it was just weird. I don't know. There's a lot of weird moments in this show. The part where whoever was got up and was like acting as the Suicide
Amanda
Squad.
Waller from
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
it was
really awkward, wasn't it?
so cringe-inducing. Like, I don't know what it is about when attempting comedy for gamers. I don't know if it's just like everyone who writes those bits aren't people who play games, or if it is just really bad writing, or what it is. But they never land. They always go poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the Ben Schwartz Sonic thing went pretty well. Like that was one of the better
Ben
ones.
Schwartz was
I didn't
funny.
actually see it, but I heard like because apparently he's a bit of a gamer, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen his like comedy show on stage that he does with the guy from Silicon Valley. I can't think of his name, but Middleditch. But
Oh, no.
it's
Yeah.
Middleditch and Swartz. But like he actually knows how to control a crowd and stuff. And I heard
Mm.
that was really good. So I don't know why they can't find those celebrities
You just
rather
need to
than
find good
yeah.
celebrity, good comedians.
Yeah.
But it felt like it felt like he was improvising too. Like, it felt like he was just feeling the
Just
room,
chill. Yep.
saying stuff, not just reading off like cards. And when it's reading off cards to tell jokes is when it comes across bad.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of enjoyed like the industry insiders getting up to like I quite enjoyed Reggie. I thought he was pretty good. Even like Doug,
yeah,
like I kind of enjoyed Doug Bowser, head of Nintendo, talking about games from other developers. Like it
Yeah.
made me feel like, oh, this is a big gaming family. Just because he works for Nintendo doesn't mean he doesn't want to play Halo Infinite. Like that's cool to me, and like that's the kind of thing I could get behind. But there's so little of it. And it
yeah,
was just so many ads. It was too much.
yeah. Like, it's just then they kept promoting the people that would like watch us react to the Game Awards on
Yeah.
Twitch. Where
Yeah.
like, and it's like, no, like, I want to watch the Game Awards, but like, yeah, a lot of ads, a lot of ads. Um, the Sonic thing, yeah, he went over great. Jim Carrey was on via video
Via
link, like
video,
he sent a
yeah.
video message, but even he, in a pre-recorded video message, he just did off his phone. It was just on his mobile phone, like took 40 seconds out. Had
Yeah.
the crowd laughing though, because he's Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
and he
He
went
should do
over the
that.
top. He went into it, but he had the crowd laughing. Um,
What about
Sonic
what do we think
Sonic
of
2 looks great, by the way.
what do we think about Keanu and Carrie
Yeah,
Moss?
I was gonna say, like, I feel like that was pretty awkward too. Like,
Yes, it
Keanu's
was.
fine, but I don't know. Like,
Carrie
Same bit.
Carrie Ann Moss
really
did not know what she was doing there, and I feel like he didn't
No.
really have any presence either, especially since he wasn't there a lot. Like, he wasn't in the room or anything, working with the crowd. And
And
to end the
all the
show on that,
yeah, and all the responses are like obviously pre-written, and so they're like trying to time it, and the timing's off with each one. It's
oh,
like that's not a
yeah,
funny
that's
comeback because you've waited a second.
there's nothing worse than seeing Jeff Keighley stand to the side of the whole crowd and being like, "So, Keanu," and he's like looking out at the audience like, "What do we have in store for us today?" And then like there's 3-second gap, and he's like, "Thanks, Jeff. Yes." Like, it's like, and the thing is, they were just
Mhm.
advertised for the show. It
Yeah.
wasn't advertised like over video link. And when they said like, and Keanu Reeves, and it went to the video, you heard like an audible groan in the audience. They're like, "Oh, they're not even here." It like,
Yeah.
I felt like
yeah,
so many people expected Keanu there, and I think that's, you know, he's famous for the whole cyberpunk thing on
yep,
stage. People loved him there,
yep,
but it feels like they're just milking that cow. Like, hey, let's have
Mm,
Keanu being Keanu at all of our game shows now.
yeah.
Um, Carrie Moss has obviously been in video games before. In Mass Effect 2, she's Arya Talok. And I think she's been a presenter at the Game Awards before. I don't think she plays video games. Um, but it's just, I want to get into the whole Matrix thing later because I've checked out the Unreal Engine 5 demo just before we started recording today,
right,
so I
Right.
could talk about it. But yeah, so we don't want to stretch on like the Game Awards did, so we might just go through what we found interesting. So I've got notes here of order as they happened. there's anything you think I missed, just let me know. I might skip a bunch of nerdy PC games or anything like that. But so they basically started the show with the award for best independent game and best debut indie game. Caught a lot of people by surprise from what I could see from Game Award reactions and stuff like that today. Griner, this was like your category in our predictions thing. You'd played pretty much all these games
Yeah,
except for the one that
the
I
one.
only I'd played. That yeah. What was your thoughts on this?
I mean,
Kena
yeah.
Registered one.
So I actually kind of hate the way they do the voting as well, because I do feel like it supports whichever game has the bigger audience. It doesn't support the game that's better. It's just the game with the bigger audience, and that's not necessarily a judge of quality, in
So
my opinion.
I'll just touch on this for a second. So I misspoke. Correction for the last podcast. It's not all fan voted for the
Right.
awards. So the way they do it is they have I think it's 21 panelists that are
Yep.
like, someone from IGN, someone from Kind of Funny, all these reviewers, they get them in. They all vote on all the categories. And I think that's weighted at like 70%.
And then the
And then
fans
the
have the
other
other 30.
30 is 30. And then it's like, it's a mixed match sort of thing, which is why they had a player's choice one for game of the year. And that was all just fan voted online.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
did
so
know there was panelists. I didn't realize the weighting was so heavily in their favor, but I mean, I was
yeah.
surprised. Everything I had heard about Kena critically was it's fine.
Mm,
And I don't know. To me, Inscription was such a unique experience. I'd heard a lot of reviewers say like, this is. I mean, it may not have been the best playing
mm,
game at every point of it, but it was such a unique experience that you would only ever get in an indie game. Whereas Kena is
yeah.
just a big boy AAA game in indie clothing, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
is it breaking any boundaries, doing anything very unique? I don't think it was. And everything I've heard about it is it's kind of bland. It looks really pretty, but it's kind of bland, is what I have
I mean,
heard.
people said it felt like a throwback. It felt like a PS2 game,
Yeah.
but like with new graphics. And they said it was kind of refreshing because, games aren't just like simple anymore, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
But yeah, interesting. I think it comes down to, and I've heard people talk on podcasts before that have been panelists on there, where they're like, man, most of the people hadn't played that game.
Jeez.
So I wonder if it's a thing. It's weird that they have panelists to vote on this stuff, and they've said, no one in that room that was voting on this stuff with me had played that game or had played much of that. So I wonder if it's just a thing. Most of them would have played Kena,
Yeah.
but not all of them played Inscription.
That happens
Yeah.
too. I don't,
It's
I wonder if it wouldn't be better if they, instead of having like a group of panelists, they said IGN, you have a vote, GameSpot, you have a vote, Giant Bomb, you have a vote, Kind of Funny, you have a vote, and then like so they can come to it
Bonus
as a
XP,
team.
you have a
Yeah,
vote.
yeah, we get a vote.
actually
Why not?
we had two
Yep.
votes actually.
Yep.
Like
Voted
instead of
for
it being up to one person who obviously it's very hard for them to play every single game of the year, but as an organization, most of those companies would have.
Yeah. It's It's odd because like I watched the Easy Allies reactions to the Game Awards today, and with Best Indie, like they were all sitting there and they were all like, "Come on, Inscription or Death's Door, Inscription or Death's Door,"
That's what I would have
and
thought too. Yeah,
they were shocked, like they didn't even consider Kena an option, and with Kena they were all just like, "Oh, what?
yeah.
Okay, fair enough." They were like, "Fair enough." They were like, "Okay, yeah," but
I mean,
not what they
yeah,
really pictured as, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
It's just yeah.
It frustrates me because I think indies are the place where you get these unique experiences, and I don't think Kena is offering that. But anyway, obviously I'm not a panelist, and I
no,
didn't go in to
yet.
vote myself either. So,
Oh, see, I went in and voted for Kena because
no,
I
of
just was
course you
like,
did.
I need to support my boy, my PlayStation exclusives.
It's
Um,
it's a problem with like all awards though. Like that question, is it what are you awarding? Are you awarding just what seemed to be the most popular or something? Are you
Yeah,
awarding what was the most groundbreaking? Are you awarding what's going to be revolutionary 10 years down the road?
yeah,
Like what's going to and it's kind of it's a difficult metric to really like put in concrete and say this is what we're doing. It's the best. And that is a huge, very vague term.
yep.
And like it happens with all like, all movie or music or video game awards. Something needs to change, but it's just a problem that plagues all of them.
but like I can definitely see the argument of like it probably shouldn't have Um, it was funded by PlayStation. It's a PS5 exclusive game. It's not really
Doesn't
like
sound very
these.
indie to
I
me,
was gonna
but
say,
yeah.
is it actually a true indie? Is it made by?
It's in like Ember Lab is an independent studio. This is their first
Okay,
game ever.
okay,
They've made the animation movies like the Majora's Mask short film and stuff like that, but
yeah,
this is their first game, and they won Best Debut Indie, which I can see that being the thing that makes sense. Best
yeah.
indie game, debatable, but
Yeah.
yeah, it, it is what it is.
The definition of indie is very muddy these days
Very
anyway.
broad. Um, Bungie's an independent studio, so
Yeah,
technically now. So next was our first announcement, and kind of my favorite announcement, and what I think is the best trailer from the whole show. What was your guys' thoughts on Star Wars Eclipse?
really, that's the best
I know
trailer
it
of the
was I
show.
know it was cinematic, but like that the music, the vibe of that trailer. I was like, man, this is good. Like I was like, this is really interesting.
It was a really nice cinematic trailer. Like it did show some like what the hell is going on here, but
Yep.
Yeah.
it's a Quantic Dream game. Like I
I'm
will,
Yeah,
hyped for that.
even if I owned a PlayStation, it was the only game coming out for the whole year, I still would not play it. I'm sorry.
Dude.
I do not like
dang.
Okay,
their style
so
of game. Like I don't think
no,
they're good.
s- so this had been rumored for the last few weeks that Quantic Dream were getting a Star Wars game, but the description of it and that I heard people talking about was that it wouldn't be a Quantic Dream type game,
I mean, if it's
which
like
Why?
makes which
I'm
doesn't make
interested,
sense.
but
But
No.
really, would you not want like a really good story focused Star Wars game that's not just focused on lightsaber battles and all that, like something to do with like the politics and all this and like interesting stuff of it. It's set.
as long as I actually get to play it, though, I don't want to. I don't want to do quick time events for 15 hours for a story that isn't probably that good.
Have you played any of the Quantic Dream
I
games?
have played what was the first one, Fahrenheit or whatever it was called.
You
Oh
played
yeah,
Fahrenheit.
yeah,
I
nice.
played a bit of that.
Detroit Become Human is really good,
And
like really good.
I've heard the absolute opposite
Conan,
repeatedly.
It's no, yeah. So I've played it. I haven't played Heavy Rain. I'm I really see. I'm going to be diplomatic. I see both sides. I don't think that this is the approach to gaming that should be being made, trying to make it more cinematic. At the same time, Detroit Become Human had some of the best moments of the game that I played that year. And for a while, like there are moments in that game that are phenomenal.
mm,
And it's that combination of putting you in a situation where it's like it's essentially just a really good movie, but it does hit that sweet spot where your involvement in there is like the example I think of it, there's a part where you're in this massive like graveyard essentially, and you have to drag yourself through it. And
yeah,
that would look cool in a movie, but by actually having to drag yourself through it, it increases
it's-
the feeling so much more. So there are moments of it that I loved. Like I
yeah,
enjoyed Detroit. I would never play it again,
mm.
but I did enjoy my playthrough. I don't know if I want it from a Star Wars thing.
Did
I kind of prefer that being an original story. I don't know if I want to have a Star Wars story like that. I've got enough
Mm.
Star Wars in my life.
it's set in a very different era that's only really been touched on in the books, though. Like the High Republic or whatever it is called.
Yeah, it
Like,
is, but I don't know if I'm enough of a fan to really be like a Star Wars
no,
property. I'm invested, and I don't know if I'm enough of a fan of Quantic Dream to be like I'm going to buy every game they play.
there was
That's my issue with it. It's like I got what was it? Fallen Order, simply
Jedi
because I
Fallen
heard
Order.
it simply because I heard it was a great game and it was kind of Dark Souls-esque. It wasn't because it was Star Wars,
Yeah.
and so I don't think this game is selling itself
Well,
to me.
a lot of people thought this was Fallen Order too.
Mm.
Um, like that's the thing. Yeah, it's not the first developer I was picturing. Like, it seemed to be a lot of thing of people being like hyped when the Star Wars Eclipse were like, oh, cool, and then it was like Quantic Dream, and they're like, ah, no.
Question mark?
Um, I'm hyped for it. I will say, like, despite it all, that trailer is freaking awesome. Like, I've watched that trailer 3 times now. Just the drums being beat, the music, the way it builds up the anticipation, the shot of the sun and the eclipse. Just like I was like, oh, that trailer was. I really was like captivated by that trailer, and I found it really interesting and a unique thing of Star Wars.
It does feel
If it,
very unique. It does. I'll
yeah,
give it that.
if it had finished with Bioware, I would have been like, whoa, like
Oh,
Yeah.
way
I would have
more. But
I would have
Yeah,
been the most excited young boy.
Not
but
anymore. BioWare's
what are you
not
gonna
what it
do?
used to be.
No.
If it had
They
been
still have.
circa 2002 BioWare, I'd have been like, yes.
What if it said that?
If it
The
was like
original
it was like
2002 BioWare
BioWare,
team.
and we're not with EA anymore. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, they've
All
still
right.
got credit with me.
So the next game announced was just another CGI trailer, um, announcing a Wonder Woman game.
It showed
Um,
absolutely nothing.
nothing,
Big who cares?
nothing really much to talk about this. The only interesting thing that I want to just quickly mention is it's developed by Monolith, who
Mm.
did the Middle Earth Shadow of War games. And apparently this will be implementing the Nemesis system from them games, which is really interesting because no game has done that, and people have been wanting that in a bunch of games. And Wonder Woman is not the game I would have pictured working with that
No,
sort of
but
system.
I'm
No.
keen. I'm keen for another Nemesis system though. Like it is.
Yeah,
It's.
it's
It's so surprising to me that that hasn't appeared elsewhere. I was
well,
only
they
thinking
got the
Halo Infinite
patent on
should have
it.
used it, but anyway.
That would have been cool. But yeah, like Monolith and Warner Brothers patented that, so
But
people can't.
surely you can make something similar, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like it's a really good. Yeah, I love the Nemesis system. I
oh
love
yeah,
those games. So I was more hyped finding out that it was by Monolith than it was finding out that it was a Wonder Woman game.
it's Wonder Woman.
Um, so award for best performance. It went to Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. None
Yep.
of us have played that. I was kind of surprised. I wanted it to go to Life is Strange, Erica Oni, but I thought it would go to Deathloop, one of the Deathloop
Yeah, I
people.
thought it
So
might have too, but maybe all
people
the
like Lady D.
yeah, that's
Lady
right.
D is tall. She's
Yeah,
very tall.
she is very tall. So then, Conan, I feel like this one would have interested you. We had the surprise announcement, which I'm guessing Keeley, this is one of 3 or 4 Elden Ring level announcements.
Biggest
I
lie
don't
of the
think he
21st
delivered in
century.
that. Alan Wake 2.
All right, I want to talk about this because I'm an infamous Alan Wake detractor. I'm
Are
finding
you? I didn't
actually,
realize.
oh, maybe I'm not. Okay,
I'm
I
I'm
feel
the
like
I think I'm the pro Alan Wake person on this
Oh,
podcast.
whoops! I should have gone to Grana first.
I no. So I'm really excited about this. Basically, I
Yeah,
love the concept of Alan Wake. It has all the ingredients that should work for me, but I think the game itself doesn't. And I think everyone who's convinced, like, oh, it's a great game, it always needs this. I'm like, no, they're tricking themselves because I want to like it as well, but it's not a great game. And I'm really
mm,
excited for the sequel because I think they can fix that. I think they spent so much time between it that they know what's wrong. The trailer looks really creepy.
it's going full just psychological horror now instead of
Yep.
Mm.
yeah.
Which, yeah, like I'm excited for this because the first Alan Wake should have been a game that I adore, but it just
I mean,
didn't quite get
it's
there.
literally about a writer. Like this should be totally your
This
jam.
is what I'm saying. It
I
Yeah,
should. It's me. I like to wear coats over hoodies.
I don't know why
Like
you
it's
hate the
me.
gameplay so much. Like I think it was serviceable. I don't think it was amazing. I don't think the gameplay is the thing about it that's like really stood the test of time or anything like that. And
Yeah.
I feel like I remember Alan Wake coming out at a time where there wasn't much else coming out. And so I picked it up. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is actually pretty decent. This is kind of fun. The light mechanic where you have to use that to, um, get away their shield or whatever. Like it was a fun mechanic. I'm keen to see what they do in Alan Wake 2.
110%.
And I think Remedy make really, really good games. I think some of them don't do as well as they deserve, but I like Control. I think is very, very, very good, and I think yeah, I'm keen to see what they do here.
that's what it seems like a lot of people were talking about, like, 2021 Remedy making an Alan Wake game. Like Control, won a lot of people's game of the years.
Yeah,
They should be able to hopefully pull off what they wanted to pull off with the first one. But yeah. Um so next game announcement. We might be like the Game Awards and skip over a few awards because as we know from our predictions one, we didn't really play many of the nominees. Um so Slitherhead, which is a very unpleasant name for a game.
What a wacky ass trailer.
What did you guys think of this? Obviously, from
Hmm.
the person who came up with Silent Hill, I totally thought like there was so many Silent Hill teasers on this show. I was waiting for something, and even Jeff Keighley dropped in an abandoned reference. I'm not sure if you guys caught that. About this game, because this is from the creator of Silent Hill. Afterwards, he was like, "It's great to see that he hasn't abandoned his roots." And
Ooh.
everyone's like, "What? Jeff Keighley knows something. What's going on?" Um, what did you guys think of this trailer? It was creepy.
But I didn't get, like, horror vibes. I kinda got, like, fun, fun body horror action.
Yeah, it seemed like that whole Ghostwire Tokyo
Yeah,
sort of.
I thought it was that at first. I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, this is what they're doing with it." But yeah, it doesn't seem like a Silent Hill game. It seems pretty different to me. But
Yeah.
still looks cool, like, just wacky.
Grant, what was your thoughts?
I actually missed this trailer, but I'm having a quick look now. But like, they
Um,
say it's got like Devil May Cry esque combat. I don't know how you make a game scary when you've got that much power. Like to me,
Yeah.
games are scary when you are underpowered, when you don't have a good way to deal with enemies. If it's got combat like that, how does that? How do you get tension?
Damn straight.
yeah, it was disturbing though. There's that final shot of the lady on the balcony with like her mouth all closing up, it just
With a sliver head.
with her slit her head.
Oh, sorry, slitter
It's
head.
it's a really it's a bad name. It sounds like an insult.
It's kind of the perfect name though, because it just makes you uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, quickly, best action game went to Returnal, from Housemarque, which was a surprise. I thought they would go to something like Deathloop or Far Cry, but
Deathloop didn't do
Ret-
as well as I think some people hoped.
Returnal deserved it though. I definitely feel like it was as an action game. I think it was pretty unique. And it was great. I loved it. Um, next, what did you guys think? Did you guys see the trailer for Gollum, Lord of the Rings Gollum?
What the hell is this game, man?
I've seen some screenshots and it looks dumb.
Yeah, I saw this and I was like, "This is the last game anyone needs."
Yeah,
So it's fascinating.
Tolkien is
Like
spinning in
obviously,
his grave.
obviously, I'm a Lord of the Rings guy.
I assume you've pre-ordered 6 copies, right?
I feel like you've got to have a game called Gollum where you play as Gollum and it's based around Gollum is an interesting choice that makes
So
me think that they have to have something in mind that they've pitched this idea for because yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna play. It just seems like it's an odd choice. I was listening to a podcast earlier that has kind of ruined this game now for me because did you see the trailer, Grana?
No, I haven't seen it.
No. So don't know if any of you know him. Chris Raygun, the podcast I listen to, basically said that all he could see when he saw Gollum, and it nailed it in my head. It's like, yes, it looks like a really demented Tommy Pickles from Rugrats. It's the big eyes. And like that was one of my
um,
notes on the show. I was like, his eyes look weird. Like
yeah. It
it's
doesn't
very much someone trying to be Andy Serkis' Gollum. It's not Andy Serkis, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
I
Uncanny Valley. It doesn't quite sound right. It doesn't quite look right.
yeah,
But yeah, you're right. It's still trying to be that. They should have just made him look different. Like just
yeah. Just
reach
if you can't get Andy Serkis, then don't be that.
don't emulate him. No.
But who knows? Middle Earth Shadow of War was an awesome game, so
Yeah, it was alright.
it was great.
It was good.
Um,
I don't feel like this has any of those vibes though.
no, no, we haven't even really seen gameplay, but this was actually, funnily enough, like the first next gen game ever officially announced, like 2 years ago. And they're like, "This game is coming next gen only,"
What a poor
and
choice.
we haven't seen any gameplay or anything yet. But another CGI trailer, yeah. Um, so I actually skipped this earlier. I didn't mean to. Sorry. Hellblade 2 was
Yeah, I was
shown.
gonna say. This
Um,
is the best trailer from the show.
oh, okay. So I
Gosh, it
think
looks
this might
good.
be our main topic for the show. So, okay. I
Should I play
have a
Hellblade 1?
problem. Wait, what was that?
Should I play Hellblade, the original? I haven't played it.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's
Definitely.
good?
I mean, you can finish that in 4 hours.
Yeah, I
It's
heard it's
like,
Yeah.
not long.
yeah, like it's a
No,
one sitting, one night sort of.
it doesn't wear itself out.
Um, great, like surprisingly, like not surprisingly because the developer, but great combat. The music's great, the story's good, the performances are great. Really solid game.
Give it a look.
It was exclusive to PS4 for a while, and then came to PC
Oh, how
and
the tables have turned.
Xbox, and now we're getting Senua's Sacrifice, Hellblade 2, um, exclusive to Xbox and PC.
So, it's so funny.
So, okay, I have a problem with this game.
I played Valhalla and it was the best Viking game ever.
No, come on, no. I loved Hellblade. I recommended Hellblade to you,
You
Coman.
did. No, you fully did. I owe it to you 110%. I'd listened to you, I bought it, and I was like,
Yeah,
sometimes Luke gets it right.
sometimes. So okay, my problem is basically now 2 years in a row, we've had this game shown, and they go, "This is all captured, blah blah blah, in real time. This is gameplay. Oh my god, I can't believe that was gameplay." And it's like, what was the gameplay? Like it feels very much like a playable cinematic. You know, she's running. Oh, she runs up to a stick, and then that's the cue for her to grab it, turn around. Oh, now you press the button for her to throw it. Then she turns and runs again.
Isn't that
That
literally
was
every game? Like you're describing video games, and I
no.
don't know how the guy who is looking forward to a Star Wars Quantic Dreams game can be like, no, the
Ah,
gameplay in this looks like crap. This is
no,
nonsense. It's just because
because
it's an Xbox exclusive. That's your
no,
problem.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. Look, the first okay, this one not so much because obviously it's that's out of the game. Like you will play that game and that will be a scene from it.
Yeah.
The first trailer they shown was 100% a CGI trailer, and they said this is running in-engine gameplay. This is gameplay, and it was. I encourage people to go back and watch it. It's 100% a CGI trailer, and it is not how it looks right now in the gameplay version of it. And I knew it was a lie back then, and I was pissed off about it back then. I was like, "That's not what it really looks like. You're lying to me," and they're lying again. But anyway, playable cinematics are fine, but don't be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that was real gameplay." When
I
all she did, like, we didn't see combat. Like, show me combat because that will show more what the games look like. If it's just this on rails sequence, games can look as pretty as they can. But yeah, anyway, that's all.
It still looked sick though. Like there are so many moments of that. Like you love Uncharted. There are so many moments in Uncharted, especially like number 4, where it's like you're being dragged along by a car and you've got to steer and do cool stuff. And like
Okay,
that's on the rails gameplay, but it's super
yeah, yeah,
fun.
yeah,
And this looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
exact same thing.
But
But that's
okay,
awesome.
closest thing I can think of, 2 years ago when they showed Last of Us 2, they
Yep.
had the whole sequence. When you first encounter the Seraphites, you know, in the forest area and everything like that. And they're like, "This is real gameplay," and it was. And people can recreate that scene for scene. And people were going on, "Oh, that's cinematic. The way she dodges here." And that. No, it was all real gameplay, and that's literally someone playing the game.
Mm.
This just looked like a playable cinematic. Hellblade has good combat and good gameplay. I want to see some of that. We've been waiting 2.5 years, and I felt like we just got a little thing. It looks amazing. Graphically, it looks amazing.
So
The
good.
world in that is really cool. The giant was creepy as hell.
Yeah.
I like all that. I'm interested in playing it. It's not just because it's Xbox. I have an Xbox. I've been playing Halo all week,
And I hate every moment of it, don't
Yeah.
you?
but yes, I probably wouldn't be as upset if it was a PlayStation 5 exclusive. But anyway, so next game I have on here, uh there wasn't much. So okay, we'll go into Vermintide 2. Now this is I must have skipped this one. I saw there was the Warhammer Space Marines 2, but Vermintide
Yep.
2. Grinder, is this something you are aware of or
I played a little bit of the first Vermintide. It was cool.
yeah.
It's like Left 4 Dead type game. But it's
Okay,
just
yeah.
you just need friends, and I don't have any friends who are playing that. I don't know why I bought it. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea. It's probably because I heard it was good, but yeah,
Yeah.
need friends.
Oh, true. Um Next award was Best Narrative, which went to Guardians of the Galaxy.
That really
So
surprised me.
Huge
I'm
shock.
actually kind of interested in playing that game now. I saw it's coming to PC, so I might give
yeah,
it a
not
go.
all my recommendations, but Game Awards.
No,
I
because
hope
of
you guys
no,
will listen now.
100% because of your
Yeah.
recommendation, not because
Oh,
it won
thank
this
you.
dumb award. I think
No,
I have no faith in the Game Awards anymore. Next year we're talking
no.
about the BAFTAs, and that's it. Nothing
Okay,
else.
yeah, we should. Um, But yeah, no, it.
Yes.
I will admit it did surprise me. I thought this was a category special, like Life is Strange. It seems like how movies are Oscar bait. Like it seems like Life is Strange is that sort of thing for best narrative.
Yeah, for sure.
And it seems weird for it to go to something like a new Marvel game.
Yeah,
But legitimately, 100% deserved. Like my vote was for Life is Strange, but Guardians of the Galaxy I think has a really good narrative. And it takes things in a surprising way, and it's like a pretty deep and emotional story. So
that's good.
I highly recommend it again. Um, so next we had the Suicide Squad gameplay reveal.
Big who
Griner,
cares?
Griner first. What was your thoughts
I
on
thought
this?
this looked surprisingly good. Like, is this not by the same people who made Batman?
Arkham, yeah, the
Yeah,
Arkham series. Yep. This,
like that's a good pedigree. They did right by Batman. I feel like this looked like fun. Like
yep.
Did they do
They've
right
been
by Batman for all the games though? I
all the
feel like
ones
they
that
really started.
they
They're
made, I
all
feel like they
critical.
did.
No, they were all
Oh, okay.
critically well received. Arkham Knight got some criticism because it focused on vehicles too much, but it was still a solid game. And did interesting things with the story. This has been in development for 5 years now. They'd been working on it silently and was finally revealed last year.
Hmm.
This surprised me at how good it looked. Like gameplay wise, how fast and fluid it looked. It gave me really like sort of Spider-Man vibes. Just how fast the characters were moving and swinging through the
Yeah,
environments and stuff like
like
that.
there's a lot of acrobatics and stuff, which I don't know. It looks. I think it looks fun. Like
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
it
That
looks really fun.
there's a
And
pedigree there with that studio. I think Suicide Squad's an interesting concept. I don't know that the movies particularly arouse
The
me
last
or
one was
anything
good.
like that, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe this gets the
found the last
Guardians
one
of the
arousing.
Galaxy treatment, and it's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Just like the original
No, like
Arkham Asylum was. Like that game came out of nowhere, blew everybody
Yeah,
out of
away.
nowhere.
Maybe they can do
that
this
was
again.
that was a good game.
I think it's an interesting like take on it. Like this whole story thing of like having to kill the Justice League,
Hmm.
like hunting down the Flash and Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all these people. I think that's an interesting thing. And they haven't confirmed any co-op stuff, but four bad guys there. If that's four-player co-op running through a city, like trying to take down targets, that sounds fun as.
Yeah,
But
it does.
gameplay looks really fun and surprised me at how fun it did look. Um, uh, next, there was another shot of trailer for Forspoken. Don't have to do too much. I thought the gameplay looked fun. This is that Conan. We reacted to it when we watched the state of play, and you're like, "Oh, it's like the fish out of water thing." Where she's like,
Yeah,
"Did I just move that with my mind?"
there's a whole genre for
Uh,
this. What's the genre? It's a genre in anime. What's it called?
I'm not the person to
But
talk to.
like
That
this
is,
is a whole subgenre of anime of like
yeah,
person from the real world in a different time setting or something. And it's
yeah.
yeah.
I don't like this genre at all.
The
I,
gameplay
I,
did look fun in this. This was a better trailer than what I think they showed last time. But
that's true. Like I enjoy the momentum of it. Like it looks really like rapid and fluid and kind of like a lot of
mm,
leaping over and easily just that looks cool.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't think the story reveal and everything just didn't look interesting to me at all.
Yeah, it's original IP, so I'm happy to see. I'll be happy to see if it comes out and it's really well received. Like I
Yeah,
want it
and
to
I
do
think
well.
I'll wait for that. If it gets accolades, I'll give it a go.
from the team who made the Final Fantasy 15 game, so people liked that.
Mm.
Not my thing, but um, next one, Griner. This is for you. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2.
Space Marine One was a surprisingly good game. I don't know if you guys played it, but
Yeah, can I ask, is this I know there's one Warhammer game that's considered really good. Is that one?
I think. I mean, I think you're being a bit reductive, but yes, I
No,
think
I'm
so.
not.
It
I
is.
was gonna
There's
It
only
say,
is.
one. There
It
is
is.
literally only one.
It's like 9 years old or something. Like it's fairly old now, but yeah, it was well received, and like at the time, it was a lot of people being like, "Yeah, like I'm not into Warhammer, but this game is fun," and
hmm,
I'd be interested to get back into that world. Yeah,
the little
it was a
glimpse we
long
got of
time ago that I
gameplay
played it.
looked
I must
fun.
admit, but I remember enjoying it.
The little glimpse we got at gameplay in this was looked fun. It looked
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. Like I
The
remember it had like
cinematic was brutal.
yeah, good switch up between like melee combat and ranged combat, and yeah,
Yeah. Um, Next, again, Grana, this show was made for you. Um, Dune, Spice Wars.
Yeah.
What do we think of this?
Um, I don't know. There was a June game ages ago, like a really old one, like 19, I don't know,
Mm,
80 something, and it was like an RTS or something like that. And it's considered one of the first RTS, I think, from memory.
yeah,
Um, and kind of set things off. And I'd I would play this. I like RTS. I like 4X games. I would
you
I
like
would
Dune?
consider it. I like June. Yeah, I would consider it, but we'll see. I'm not like pre-ordering or anything
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, we didn't see anything really of it. It's
No,
more
it
just a
showed
concept of
nothing.
what it is. But like as soon as they were saying something like Arrakis, and I was just like, wait a minute, I know this stuff. I was like, I know. Wait a minute, I know this place. So I was hyped for a bit, but yeah, RTS is not my thing. Conan, any interest?
I'd never heard the genre of 4X before. I thought I'd
I
never had that.
still don't know what it is.
I'd never.
Rhino
What
and
is?
me had a little debate about if
Yeah,
it's 4X
I
or I
can't
I
didn't,
remember. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's
don't know
like
what 4X
I
is.
looked
explore,
this up. It's
expand, and
yeah, explore, expand, exploit, exterminate,
yeah,
Oh, okay.
which just sounds like RTS, but yeah, I
yeah.
don't
But
know. I'm telling you,
RTS don't like in 4X games generally. You're like exploring a universe often, or
mm,
like a very large world, rather than here's my base here, the enemy base is over there, and we fight somewhere in the middle till one person overpowers the other. It's
yeah,
it's
okay,
it's more about exploring and creating alliances and finding resources and stuff like that. So.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm,
I enjoy all that stuff. Don't know if I'll play it, but
yeah. Um, Next up that I want to talk about, VR is coming to Among Us. I think that could be
Woohoo.
pretty fun. I do think that that could be pretty fun. This was a game I haven't really played much of it. Hasn't come to PlayStation yet. Don't know why they're struggling so hard on that port, but it's been announced. It's just waiting months now for it. Um, like I could picture this playing with friends if we everyone had VR headsets, and that's what it was like. It'd be a fun thing to be walking around in that environment and have the crew meetings and discuss who was the murderer and lie to your friends. That'd be good fun. Good fun. But will never
I,
happen.
I
We'll never play
I don't think Among Us is good,
it.
but anyway, that's my opinion.
Oh, next one worth talking about is we had a Plague Tale Requiem.
oh yeah, my bread and
Conan,
butter.
what were your thoughts on this trailer that you'd only just seen before we started recording this?
Yeah, like an
Quickly,
hour ago. Can't believe I
yeah.
missed that. Trailer looks good. I don't know. I'm giving that game more leeway than it perhaps it deserves. You guys haven't played the first one yet, have you?
Not yet. I plan
I
on it, but
I mean, I really feel like you guys might hate it, and that's totally fine too. I can see why people wouldn't like this, but look, this one has improved combat. And by that I mean it actually seems to have combat
That was going to be my
as a
mm,
question
crossbow.
because I remember we talked about the first one and you said like it wasn't very combat heavy, but this trailer seems to have a lot of combat in it. How do you feel about that change of pace?
I think it could be really good. It could be really bad, but it definitely would work as like a progression of character. Because the combat in the first one is purely based off a sling, and it's kind of like someone runs at you, you might be able to kill them or you die. Whereas now she's got a crossbow and she's kicking ass. So I think that scene, like you kind of need that because I think the first game suffers from it.
Right.
Um, Not to say that it's like every game needs combat, but I just think there was a few moments where I'm like, it would have been better if there was just a little bit more. And so I think if they add that little bit more, it still functions as a really good sort of survival horror but also with action elements. I'm excited. Trailer looks good, and I do think this is their opportunity to polish up all the rusty pieces of the original game. Because again, it was an indie title, and it definitely feels that way. Like it's an indie game in AAA skin. I think this is their chance to really make it shine.
from a story perspective, you excited to find out what's next, or
Yeah, like I am. I'm curious. It seems like the kind of thing they could keep going and doing new stuff. So I'm interested to see what happens. And like I like their relationship. It's not
mm,
phenomenal, but it's sort of very heartfelt.
it's no Joel and Ellie?
Nothing is Joel and Ellie, but
um, One I just want to quickly touch on the GTFO. Did you guys see this announcing that it was out now?
I
Um,
mean, it's been out for ages in early access.
in
It
early
just went
access, but yeah,
1.0. Yeah,
1.0. I just want to say I kind of felt bad for the developer. He seemed very nervous on
he
stage.
did. Yeah, I felt for him a bit too, and I think Jeff Keighley tried his best to coax him and help
Re-
him out, but he really struggled. But
Yeah.
that I have a lot of respect for that game. I would like to play that game, but I don't think I haven't found anyone to play it with. I guess it seems very,
What
very.
is
Oh, it's
2 years ago, when it was first announced at the Game Awards,
yeah.
when it popped up, I was like, man, that looks like it'd be a lot of fun with friends.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like, I mean, you could be reductive and say it's a bit like Left 4 Dead. Like, I think there's 4 people, and you're working your
mm,
way through an area, and there's hordes of enemies coming at you. But it's supposed to be extremely hard, and you have to really play to like your equipment abilities, and play as a
oh, cool.
team. And I think you're scavenging resources and stuff and picking stuff up. So
mm,
I don't know. I enjoy games like Escape from Tarkov, which has a similar sort of style. And I'd be really interested in playing it with some people, but I've never found anyone else who's playing it. So
true.
Maybe
Um, I wonder what GTFO stands for. I'm not
hmm,
sure.
curious.
Um, Next we got our first look at the Halo TV show. What were your guys' thoughts on this, and that it's exclusively streaming on Paramount Plus?
I don't want to get another streaming service,
No,
man.
good thing they have a 7-day trial.
What was your guys' thoughts on this trailer? There wasn't much here.
Didn't show
Our
much of
first look of
anything.
Master Chief in real life, but
Didn't watch it. I missed it.
didn't watch it. Grana?
Master Chief, like they show a scene where he's walking and he seemed very floaty. Like I feel like a 3 meter tall man in this 1 ton suit or however much it weighs should I don't know. He should have some gravity to him, and I don't know. It looked
Yeah.
funny.
Yep.
I feel like this trailer didn't. It showed almost nothing. I'm notorious for saying that I don't think video games should be made into movies or TV shows. I
No.
think the same applies here. Um, yeah,
I like Pablo Schreiber though. He's cool.
Is it just me? It doesn't seem like this show's a big deal. It doesn't seem like, and obviously streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus is no Netflix or
No,
Amazon or HBO or
they
anything
yeah,
like
have
that.
they have the
no,
budget behind them though. It's not like they're a poor company or anything like that. They're not a small
no.
company.
Yeah,
Like
true.
this could be the thing that I mean, saying like Netflix original doesn't mean anything anymore. That's pretty worthless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
e- everyone does it now. I think you're right because I mean this has been in development for like a
A long
Halo movie was
time.
announced since like 2004.
I
yeah,
remember in high school hearing about a
Yeah.
Halo TV show or
yeah.
movie. Yeah,
Oh, Steven
So
Spielberg's
yeah,
been attached for like the last 30 years. Yeah, it's dumb.
he's attached to this, isn't
Yeah,
he?
I know he is.
I
Yeah,
mean it'd be like executive producer,
Yeah,
which
something.
I'm sure he's
His
pretty
name's on
hands
the
off.
credits.
yeah, he just like made a phone call once. Anyway,
Remember when
He
he made
thinks
that Wii game,
he thinks it's Master Chef.
Boom Blocks?
it's just
Yeah.
Boom blocks. Um,
um,
next one I want to talk about is the pot friend from Elden Ring came on stage. I
Why?
thought this was great.
No,
I liked it.
they're already rushing
They're
people off the
totally,
stage for a game that's coming out in
yeah.
2 months. Just leave it.
No, no. They're definitely milking the whole pot guy from the last trailer. Conan, do you have any idea what we're talking about? Or are you picturing a
not
stoner walking onto the
not
stage being like, Elden Ring, man?
that's what I'm hoping Keanu was stoned and came on
No.
and was
You know,
just
in the last trailer, there was a dude that's like, he's a pot and he was in the ground. Did you watch the gameplay trailer?
I vaguely remember it.
There's
No, I did.
Anyway,
Yeah.
people who played the
he
network
became like
test
a
actually got to do his quest and stuff. Like, yeah, he's
he
pot
became
friend.
like a
He's
meme
Uh,
because people were like,
character.
oh, he's funny, he's cool.
yeah,
He
right.
came
Okay.
on just to reveal a new Elden Ring trailer. What did you guys think of this trailer?
Yeah, no, I did see this trailer.
We did
It's
not need
cool,
a
but we
trailer
don't
for Elden Ring.
exactly my thoughts. We don't need it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's 2 months away, which is kind of funny that it did win the most anticipated as well. 2 years in a row now, it's won most anticipated. But I thought this trailer was pretty cool though. It gave me like I don't know, I was interested in the story and like they went into the whatever his name, the guy that got killed and became the first. What's his name? I don't know. All the mumbo jumbo that's usually with Dark Souls,
The
but it
Elden
looked
Ring was
cool.
shattered. Yeah, it
I
doesn't.
mean, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
it
It,
cool. Gave me like yeah,
Gave me Dark
all these
Souls
games,
vibes.
yeah,
all these games do a great job of being like, I've learned so much, but I've learned nothing at all.
Yeah,
yep.
I love
But
it.
yeah, I am interested to know how much George R. R. Martin was actually working with this.
this much.
Yep, came up with the names, but yeah. Um, So really, the last announcement thing was the whole Keanu Matrix. They showed another trailer for Matrix Resurrections, um, and they announced the Matrix Awakens, um, which is their tech demo for Unreal Engine 5. What were you guys' thoughts on this whole Matrix thing?
It was dumb.
Big.
No. This was the ending announcement.
Yeah, I know. It was such a
Yeah.
letdown.
I think they're overestimating how much people love the Matrix.
Yeah. Um, yeah, anyway, just want to quickly say, so I before the podcast I played the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo on the PS5.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
I actually heard
Obviously,
it's not bad. Yeah,
it wasn't running in 30 frames a second. It's very much an on rails thing where you're pointing the stick to which place to shoot and then holding the trigger for her to shoot tires out on a highway chase. But it looks phenomenal. Graphic wise, it looks photorealistic in a lot of places. Obviously, there's uncanny valley in a few things. Um, but there's some great screenshots online of people comparing like the Matrix film to the like, especially Neo sitting at his desk at his house. Um, it's like one to one, like almost looks photorealistic, and it's pretty crazy. They go through all the cool things, and they allow you basically to go in like a god mode of just floating through the city as it's running, and civilians are walking around. So you can just zoom in on any details you want, or fly up to buildings and just survey the whole city basically. Um, really impressive graphically. Wasn't steady at 30 frames a second in movement and stuff like that. So maybe we'll get an Unreal Engine 5 game on PS5 Pro, or maybe PS6 is
don't
more
you remember
likely.
that
But
tech demo they showed before the PS5 came out? And you're like, oh, that's what every game's gonna look like on the PlayStation
yeah, they will. No,
one
not
day
yet. But one day, maybe your PC growing up.
on new PC.
But yeah, this tech demo is exclusive to Xbox Series X and PS5 at the moment, but I'm sure they could get it on high end PCs eventually.
Maybe.
But I don't know. PS5 obviously is the most powerful PC in the world, but yeah, maybe. Um.
If you couldn't hear that, that was me rolling my eyes.
Yeah, and then the game of the year, um, went to It Takes Two by
I'm happy for the dude. I
yeah,
I think he's a good developer. Like I think he's made some good games. What was the one in the middle, the A Way Out or whatever? It wasn't very well
A Way
received, but
Out.
I
Oh yeah,
really
it was.
like.
It was well
It was
received. Yeah.
okay. I like Brothers though. I thought it was really really good.
Mm,
I'm interested in playing It Takes Two.
I
I'm just,
really want to,
I need to see
but
if I can convince my wife.
yeah, exactly. It's the same. I'm sure. I just yeah. Um, I need to get it. Actually, that's my only thing. I just need to commit and buy it. Um, Conan, you played A Way Out or you didn't?
No, I haven't played any of
Brothers?
them.
No.
No,
Okay.
I like the idea of all of them. Similar deal. I need friends to play, and I've crafted a life of no friends very carefully. I'm not changing it for video games.
It sucks that all three of us don't know anyone that likes games
It's a
that we could
shame.
just play games with. It
But
really bothers me
if you
out.
guys find anyone else, let me know, and
I'll
I'll
let you know, but
yeah.
obviously I'm looking for people for myself too. So
Mm. If I
what
find
are you
anyone,
gonna do?
I'll let you know then.
What's the solution here? Yeah, no, I really wanted to play A Way Out. I just never got around to it. I played a bit of Brothers back in the day. These games appeal to me like I want to play them. It Takes Two looks great. I'm not sure if you knew the whole backstory recently about It Takes Two, though, that they've got like a lawsuit going on from Take Two
Take Two.
Interactive
Oh,
Yeah, I did see
saying that they
that.
can't use that name, It
it's
Takes Two.
it's the
And
most.
so for them to then win Game of the Year the next week is pretty
Yeah,
funny. Um, but you know, deserving win, surprising win, I feel like. I don't know.
it
I
wasn't
just
much.
felt like this was going to be Deathloop. I don't know why. I just felt like it was going to be Deathloop, but
Yeah,
I'm happy it went to it
yeah.
takes two. So
I'm glad Deathloop won direction. I think it. Yeah. I think it
yeah, yeah,
deserved
yeah,
something. I think it was a good, unique experience that deserved something, even if it wasn't perfect.
yeah. Um, just quick thing to note as well. It seems like PlayStation abandoned this show. PlayStation didn't have any like involvement with this show, while Xbox and Nintendo were there promoting their stuff, but PlayStation pieced out.
What about
They had a short minute Horizon clip, but that was pretty
what about
much
Babylon's Fall? It's a PlayStation exclusive. Looks atrocious. It looks
yeah.
atrocious.
No,
Um,
it looked atrocious for a
did you
while.
guys see the Star Trek Resurgence trailer?
I actually didn't, so
So
I saw that just on my list, but I didn't see the trailer.
So it's especially from the creators of like some Telltale games, The Walking Dead, Batman. It
Okay.
looked absolutely terrible. I don't know.
Oh,
It just
I
looked
need to watch
so
it.
bad. You should watch it.
Like, is it
I
gameplay or?
Yeah, they seem to show some gameplay. It looks just atrocious. I feel like that genre of game was really big for a while now. Has disappeared, and I think rightly so. Like I think it's out. You know, it's
Oh
lived its
god,
piece. It doesn't. We don't want that anymore. I don't want that anymore. Maybe I'm on my own, but
I love
Mm,
Telltale games. Um, that's one thing.
no.
Like a Telltale game was announced for this show, though.
yeah, true. Yep,
For the
Yeah,
Expanse.
yep,
Expanse. Yeah.
Um,
No, I think they lost their formula long ago.
yeah,
I mean, the company went bankrupt. Like
yeah. The company's no
Telltale
longer.
now is like a different Telltale.
Yeah.
They went
So,
bankrupt because they were
so this
shit.
is apparently by the original people who have left Telltale, I guess, but it looks atrocious in my opinion. I'm sorry. The other game
Oh
I wanted
my
to mention
god,
was
I'm watching the trailer now.
live
It's
reactions
pretty
from
bad.
Luke.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Did you guys see? Oh, where can I find it? Arc Raiders. Did you see this trailer?
Yes, sorry, I just skipped
No.
over that. That was on my list to bring up. I found
I,
this. I think this is one of his other Elden Ring level announcements. It seems really
Oh
intriguing.
no, I
yeah,
did watch that. Yeah.
yeah. It's like a PVE. Uh, is it 4 players, maybe more? But like taking down big mechs and stuff. I don't know. I think it looked really cool. I'm keen to see how it comes
Who?
out. Again, I need friends, but
What was the team behind this? It was made up of like a team of
people who worked on the Battlefield games previously.
Yeah. Yep. I thought it looked cool. Like I
Yeah,
like the cool logo effect. I feel like the trailer was a good trailer.
yeah.
I remember that trailer finishing and being like, "Oh, that looked pretty cool." Brand new IP. So yeah, I'm interested in that game as well.
Keen to see how it
The
turns
two
out.
that the two that just I thought was cool were there was a Cuphead DLC Island,
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yes,
which is
delicious
fun.
last
I mean,
course,
I wish I
which
was good
stands for
enough
DLC.
to finish the original game and need that, but I still think it's
Mm,
cool that they're making more of it.
yeah.
And did you guys see the Nightingale trailer?
I saw a glimpse of it. That's why I didn't mention it. Sorry, but this is
That wa-
by who was it again?
oh, I'm not even sure. I can have a look that up.
But it's like a
I don't. It's
The
it's like a
fantasy thing,
survival
isn't it?
game.
By
Yeah, it's like
oh,
survival game, but it's steampunky. So it's
mm,
in a Victorian era. You've got cool shotguns and old school flintlock pistols and stuff.
By
yeah.
Um,
Inflexion Games, whoever that is. Inflection.
ex Bioware devs reveal
That's it. BioWare.
Nightingale.
Yep. Ex BioWare devs. There's a lot of
So
ex BioWare devs.
I don't know. I love the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy steampunky stuff, and I don't know, the trailer looked kind of fun. It reminded me of that game. I think the Hunters or the Hunt or something, where it was kind of it's like a multiplayer co-op game recently. A
Oh,
similar
the
thing was kind of
Hunt Showdown. Yeah,
yeah, Hunt
it
Showdown.
looks like Valheim. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh
It's an
yeah, that rings
open
a
world
lot of
survival
bells.
game. I'm kind of over those games, to be honest.
Yeah,
I played a few
that's
of
fair.
them, and I don't know, they're all much
But
the
have you
same in
played
the
any
end.
that are steampunky?
No, I guess I
Mm.
haven't played it in this setting. I'll still go and chop down
That's
trees for an hour to build a house so I
yeah,
can
but you'll do it
survive the
with
night.
but you'll have a cool steampunk axe.
Right, okay. Makes all the difference.
Yep.
You're
Really
being
does.
you're being facetious, but it will. It'll cut it down much faster.
Okay.
Yep. Um, were there any other announcements or anything that I've missed that you guys wanted to touch on?
Well, there should have been 5 Elden Ring level announcements, right?
I couldn't find them in the
We haven't
list.
addressed any, so
I have 1.5 maybe,
Yeah.
and that's barely. I don't know. I
I mean,
can't
is
see where
Elden
the
Ring
new
one of
BioShock
those? Does
is.
that count or
yeah.
not?
Yeah. Yep. Um, I just gotta say, I was very disappointed there was no BioShock game after all the rumors recently, and
Spewing.
no exclusive PlayStation remake announcement from Bluepoint, which has been rumored for months. I was very much excited for Metal Gear Solid, but alas, have to wait
Yeah.
for another day. But
Disappointing.
long show, a lot of ads, a lot of marketing,
A lot of
some
disappointment.
random VR box that sprays you with goo when you kill people in Resident Evil. But yeah, not much to talk about. Well, if you liked hearing us talk about games, you love hearing us talk about movies, trilogies. Every fortnight on the Good, the Bad, and the Worst podcast, the three of us sit around and discuss movie trilogies, discuss which, and we rate and rank them, and discuss which is the best, which is the worst, what happened, what went wrong, why was Rachel Weisz recast in The Mummy
Recast.
3. All that good stuff. You can find us on YouTube or any podcast providers. You can find that podcast on social media at Good Bad Worst Pod. You can follow this podcast at Bonus XP Podcast. Like and subscribe. This episode's actually brought to you by The Taste of Iron, the newest novel by one C.V. Clarke.
That's me. BT Dubs.
Buy it on Amazon or to read on paperback or on Kindle, and yeah, enjoy that. You can probably read that instead of watching the Game Awards, because that was that's a waste of
It
your
is
time.
better. It is definitely better than the Game Awards. I can safely
Yeah.
say that.
I can vouch for that. But thanks for watching again. Like and subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you next time.
No,
Peace.
Peace.
bye.